Hi, hello, howdy. How are we today? Today, we are having a nice little chill stream. I hope everyone's having a good week. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I had yesterday off, but I don't feel like I did because I did so many things. I have my Good Morning Sunshine mug, even though it is 7 o'clock at night. And yeah, today we are just going to have a little productive stream. So hopefully you all have something that you can work on the side. Today I'm going to be working on finishing these maps. Or at the very least, I'm going to be working out how I want to label them and what all of my little map pins are going to say. So I'm very excited to hopefully get this done by the end of the week. I'll be working on this live today and on Thursday. So yes, I hope that you find it interesting. I hope you like my writing process. It's just going to be a little adventure. You see we have these little map pins that we're going to be working with. We're going to be editing these. We're going to figure out what's going to go in every single one. It's going to be quite the undertaking. I have to add 5 more pins and I'm dragging that one around. I didn't mean to. Yeah, it's going to be an adventure. But I'm very excited about it. If you're one of my friends that aren't on WorldAnvil and you're tuning in and you're wondering what I'm even doing this for, well, first of all, hello, it's for my world. I just really like working on it. But it's also for the WorldAnvil Worldbuilding Awards 2022, and there is a map category, and I want to submit this map to that category. Let's see, the minimum interactive requirements is 30 pins, and I currently have 25, so I need to get cracking on that first of all. 2 marker groups, I'll have to figure out what that means for me, personally. I don't know how I want to group up these markers with different layers and things. And each of them has to have 50 words of description. Wait, no. The map needs to have at least 50 words of description. Each pin must have around 120 characters. I think I've gone 120 words already on my first one, so we're we're doing it. We're doing it. We're good. We're having a good time. So yeah. I got started with this one like a little bit before stream, so I kind of had an idea of what I actually wanted to do. Maybe it's easier to show if I hover it over here. This is what it's actually kind of going to look like on the real map. It's got a little scroll bar here. But yeah, I figured out how to make it so that it pops up and the full image is there. There's this little quote in the beginning, title, and then you can scroll down for all the fancy little, not fancy, all the text. And if you click on it, well, I guess I can't really see on this screen. Ooh. Yeah, if you click on it, it shows you the article that's for the actual location that's already linked. And I really want to see if at some point during this week I can just figure out how to do CSS on these maps. I hear it is possible. I hear it is very doable. But I hear it is finicky and difficult, not difficult, maybe confusing to figure out. I don't know, we'll have to see how that goes. But yes, I would very much like to have a nice, pretty map. And here's Kingdom of Arsavella. Yes, I really want to figure out the CSS for these because this doesn't really match my my actual world aesthetic. Let's see if we go to the full article. This is what the article would normally look like. If I could make it look a little bit more like this, that'd be pretty cool. It's like it's squished in right now, so the sidebar is not really a sidebar. If I do that, it's a little off screen. Yeah, there's the map. I'll do that so I can show off the map a little bit. Ooh, very excited. I made this in Incarnate. I'm a big fan. Yeah, this is one of the regions that I'm working with. One of the regions that'll be on my map in my pins. And I have to figure out how I would like to show that real quick. Anyway, back to this map. Let's get on to some editing maybe, shall we? Scoot in and let's get into business mode. So Velen Reef, I don't have anything for that yet. I don't even have an article for it. A lot of these other regions do have little itty bitty articles that I wrote for WorldAnvil. I'll just have to pop those open here. Maybe I even go so far as to pull up the actual article and grab a little bit of content for the pin itself. Yeah, see, like it's got this tiny little article to it. Nothing fancy, nothing big. I could most definitely add more to this article, and I probably will soon. But I am glad that I at least wrote this much during WorldAnvil. I really struggled to kind of hit word count at the end. I was definitely working to the very last minute. I don't recommend that, by the way. It's definitely not the most fun thing to do. I wrote like 6,000 words in the course of a night and a half, maybe a day. Which for some people is like a cakewalk, honestly. I've seen people do way more in less time. But for me, and someone who doesn't really write that often, 2 days to do all that is kind of a lot. Or it's kind of not a lot. Not a lot of time. A lot of words, though. So we can pop that in there, and we can make this our little heading 4. Oh gosh, and every time I finish editing a pin, it just lags out the map for a second. Yeah, let's see how that came out. Where is it? Right there. Oh, I forgot the little... Let me see how many... It's 148 characters here, so something that long is all I need for a pin. Which is pretty good. That's comfy. That's a simple description, and that's kind of all it needs. Just a little intro. I mean, I guess if you count the little description up here too, that also counts for characters. Yeah, it's like over 200 now, so yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I forgot to add the little break line that I've been doing. Let's just pop back into here real quick. Just putting one of these bad boys, HR in brackets. Wait for it to stop lagging. It doesn't really show up here, but it should show up on the actual map once I refresh it. Yeah, there you go. Now there's a little line here. I like that. Yeah, there's the pin for the Melokaj Barons. That is one of my regions in the lovely and lush Kingdom of Arsavela that is very concerningly quickly becoming a desert. And no one quite knows why. I'm sure one of these days some staunch adventurer is going to find the reason, but that probably won't happen, at least until I write more content so I can get players in this world. I'd be very excited to run a game in this world again. I did like way back in the day. Actually, because this world started as just like a little D&D kind of homebrew flavoring thing. I was just running a 5e game, sort of based loosely in the setting that I'm writing. And so when I joined WorldAnvil, the first thing I was kind of building off of was that this is a world in which D&D stuff also exists, and like it is a D&D kind of like region. But I decided somewhere along the way that I didn't really want to do that. I just wanted to do my own thing. And over the years, we've been figuring out what exactly that means for us, you know? So yeah, I don't know. Every day I'm like super excited to work on this, even though a lot of the time I just don't have the time to devote that I'd really like to this project. Because there's kind of a lot, you know what I mean? Like creating a whole fantasy setting on your own, just in your own time, it requires a lot of time. And especially with a full-time job, it's kind of difficult to just put in time whenever I feel like to make work. Ye do. Yeah, Scotchworth, you know exactly what I am talking about. It is so hard to make time for all the wonderful, nice, fun things in this life that you want to do. And all of the lovely things that we wish to create. The worst part of making your own world is making it. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say it's the worst. It's just really difficult to do. Because I think actually making it is so much fun and it's such a delight. You just kind of, you gotta actually do it. You gotta actually make time for it. It is so difficult. And yeah, so you see I have like this magnificent and terrific cache of images that I'm working from. And I made them all on Midjourney. I know people have a lot of feelings about AI art, but genuinely, I think as long as you're not making it and selling it as if it's your own work, it's totally fine. If you are pretending that it's something that came from your own hand, that's problematic. But I think it's just like a really useful tool for creating visuals for world building and all that kind of stuff, so that's what I use it for. And so many people on WorldAnvil have been creating images using Midjourney, and it has made so many worlds just start to pop visually, and it's so cool to see. My drink just tried to assassinate me. Life is hard. That's what I get for trying to be productive in my spare time. Oh, I did not put a space where it needed to be. So yeah, anybody watching, what, if any, worlds have you been working on? I wish to know. I wish to hear about these other worlds that exist. It is imperative that I learn the secrets of other people's worlds. Or maybe not the secrets, but I want to know what people are doing. I mean, you could tell me your secrets also. I totally don't mind. I promise I'll forget them by the time, if ever I do play a game in it. I have a lot of interest, but my memory is just not good. Especially lately, it's just, nah, it don't go. Yeah, and there are going to be a lot of articles, not articles, a lot of places in here that I just don't have articles for. And so I'm wondering if I want to put in the time to make articles for all these places, or if it's fine for some things to just kind of not have them. I'm really glad I laid out these articles for all these nearby regions to each other with the bordering regions in the sidebar so I can just click through them whenever I need to. It makes life way more convenient. Okay, I have to pull that image. Is it this one? Yeah, it is. Wrong line. Boom. That is at least one more pin done. I should really make myself a little checklist. I feel like that'd be way easier to keep track of what I have done and what I still need to do. If I just do that real quick. Let's pull up my Notion real quick and make sure. Hopefully there's nothing incriminating on here, just on the first page. Okay, no, this is the calendar I was using to plan my previous streams. Okay. Yeah, here's... If you don't know what Notion is, I recommend you learn. I use it for basically everything vaguely reminiscent of lists or journals these days. I used to be like a diehard like physical bullet journal kind of person, and I still kind of am. I still have physical journals. Like let me just disturb my desk real quick. Ah. I have at least these two that I hope to start soon. This is I actually have some WorldAnvil stickers on the back of this one. Ooh, very fun. My little Grandmaster sticker. I'm thinking one of these days this Grandmaster sticker is going to turn into a Sage sticker, but I don't know when exactly that's going to be. Especially if I plan to keep up with like all the streaming and things. That'd be fun. I also, oh gosh, I saw the announcement the other day about the Sage seminar that's coming up, and I really wanted to take part in that one because it seemed like it'd be really interesting. Because yeah, if you don't know, Sages on WorldAnvil get access to little seminars that are exclusive to them. And I mean, it makes sense. Probably go back to physical journals. My notepad documents look like they were written by a schizophrenic with a caffeine addiction. Oh, I feel that. Yeah, I can't imagine taking like actual notes in like notepad documents. I require formatting. It's something I need. Okay, let's put a little map icon here. Okay. World building. I forgot how to type. Oh my god. World building awards map. Yeah, so we are going to... So we need to do 30 pins minimum. And we are going to... Oh gosh, I wish I could number this and have it be a checkbox at the same time. Maybe I'll have to submit something like that to Notion, like, hey, feature suggestion. Yeah, because it automatically turns into a list. You know, I can work with it. I can work with a list. I'll just let's see what we got here. We got, because we have at this moment 25 pins. We need 30. I'm just going to be very pressed to find parts of my world that I have thought about enough to make a name for and a description. Name and description that I can add just like 5 more pins to this map. I can think of at least one just right off the bat. It's another city in Volcan here. Kamigon is the capital. There's also a settlement up by the northern border called Enkana, so I can definitely throw that on the map for sure. The capital city of Everbright, I could definitely throw in. Oh, capital city of Venarsa. Okay, we have 3. We have 3 at least. I could make an entry for the like opposing capital city of Undmar. That'd be 4. I don't have names for anything in like this central part or in the caldera. I just have that it exists. Yeah, it's tough. But also Scotchworth, I absolutely do bury all my old writing stuff in Google Docs. But linking a Google Doc in the WorldAnvil Discord, actually the bot bullies you for it. It like has a little pop-up automatically. It's like Google Docs and WorldAnvil, or are you lost? So where are you? Where do you think you are right now? And I mean, that's fair. But people make some impressive spreadsheets, and the bot still bullies them for posting them in the Discord. It's very funny. Love me a good spreadsheet. Oh yeah, absolutely. My job in the real life is just me staring at spreadsheets basically the entire day. Just 8 to 10 hours a day, depending on how I'm feeling. Uh, of just staring directly at spreadsheets and CAD documents. CAD drawings, rather. Yeah, it's good. It's great. And I don't mean that sarcastically, like it is pretty great. I do love my job. And listen, any job where I don't have to see a customer, mint. Supreme, actually. I barely even have to talk to my coworkers, honestly, and when we do, it's about like weird TikToks. I bother my team lead like constantly, but that's about it. Because for some reason they decided like I have enough brain cell to be in charge of people even though I've been there for like a couple months. I'm just built different or something. You see my hands like built different. Yeah, I guess I could also theoretically create a capital city for Nimavi, but I don't have a good name for it right now. I really don't. Um I mean, I don't have a good name for like half of these things I just mentioned. Anyway, okay. Back to this numbered list. Let's see. We have Kingdom of Arsavella. We're gonna make it red because it's a region. Savellan Northlands. That's in there. We have Milokaj Barrens. And we have Brinevale Forest. And those are all within. They're within that region. And then we have Nimavi, previously known as the Hearthwood. Still technically known as the Hearthwood, just colloquially. Yeah, I wanted to just rename a bunch of things, because I don't know, some of these names I came up with like a very long time ago, or maybe some of them I didn't even come up with. They were kind of like collaborative in a sense. They were like names that were given to me in character backstories when I was like, yeah, this world has like not much to it. I'm gonna give you a basic premise for what your character could be, and you just bring me names. And that's where like some of the names in the earliest zones came from. But some of them shall be no more. Bellin Reef. Nimavi again, I shall make red. Urus Brianna and Urus Halna. They are sisters. I like the idea of playing with sister nations. These are two sister nations that are quite literally split apart by a giant mountain range that wasn't always historically there. But just because it popped up one day, well, it took longer than a day, but just because it showed up out of nowhere doesn't mean that they're gonna stop being all buddy-buddy and lovey-lovey. Huion is the capital of Urus Brianna. And we shall also have here Balogor and the dead forest within. Could theoretically put a city in Balogor, but I don't really know what I'd put in there yet. Those will be the icky deadlands. With a lot of icky things that probably want to eat and kill you. Every good fantasy place should have an icky, sticky, undead place that wants to eat you. In my opinion, I think it's just fun. Oh, why did that? Boom. Leech Sea. I just thought that was a cool name for a swamp. But that's just me. We have Undmar, City of Goldport. Sticker's the other city. Oh, grab the wrong one too. Yeah, making the regions in red will just help me kind of organize where all my pins are and what they actually mean. Or how they're organized, I should say. We have Vinarsa. Oops. I don't know how to spell. Oh, hold on, yeah, and Gilded Reef. The Gilded Reef is full of pirates. You do not want to sail there. Not only are they legally permitted, they are legally encouraged to sack your ship and take everything, including the people. Well, no, they don't take the people. They take everything off your ship and then send all the people home. Like, bye. Try again later. What was the name of this city? Ooh. I don't remember the name of my own city in Arsa. No, I do know this. I have to know this. Now it's a personal challenge to the brain cell to see if I can remember this city name that I wrote about. To be fair, I wrote about it for summer camp like 2-3 years ago. Probably 3 years ago. I didn't do summer camp. Wait, no, I did do summer camp 2 years ago. It was WorldAnvil I didn't do last year. Which I'm very sad about. But it's fine. It's all good. I know. Gosh, I wrote like a whole article about it. Well, not an article about it. About a siege of it. Aletta. Oh my gosh. I just be out here forgetting things. So yeah, Aletta is the name of this city. And so we have Everbright, Volcon, Kamigon. We can add Ancana. Earthen Kingdoms, which include Lithica. And I don't have other region sub-kingdoms of the Earthen Kingdoms yet figured out. I would like to though, because there should be several. And Yororim. Okay. So we need a city name for Everbright. Unless I already have one and I just forgot what it was. That'd be really funny. Remember what I said about my memory. It's been really not good. So let me just crawl through my article list again for a minute. Let me see if I can find. I don't think I wrote any city names for Everbright yet. I wrote about the people who live in Everbright. Did I maybe... I sure... Oh, let me see. Open the article for... Pop open the article for Everbright real quick. It's very small, so I don't actually know if I wrote about any cities. So the whole premise of this world is that ley lines, like sources of magic, ley lines run through the entirety of the world. And sometimes, if they become a little too powerful, they'll do what is considered emerging. And they will completely alter the landscape of wherever that happens. This can happen on a small scale, like maybe you have like a tiny little section of a forest has been affected by a ley line, or it can be kind of like huge region scale. And so there are regions of the world that are like crazy cloaked in magic and totally not what they should be naturally. And there are also regions that are pretty normal. Like they seem pretty natural, and they'll have like little pockets of magical regions. Everbright is so named because it is cast in light magic, and it's just always McFrickin' bright. Forever. The sun never sets, and unfortunately, in its neighbor Bolkan to the south, which I didn't link here. Oh, it's because Bolkan came later. I didn't write about it until a little later. The northern portion of Bolkan, unfortunately, also never really sees the sunset because it's so close to Everbright. And there is like a population of people who, through some means unknown to them, they're kind of like bound to their home. They can't leave, not by any means. And no one who has ever gone missing has ever come back. But yeah, they can't leave. So they are stuck in this place where there is no sunlight, and they have a crazy cult that will do basically everything to stop them from seeking shelter from it. And this makes other people kind of go a little loopy, and they start joining the cult too, and the cycle just continues. Isn't that fun? Like for them, isn't that such a good time? Yes, just scrolling through my list of articles. Why did it go to this page? Hello? Regions. Take me there, please. Please. Okay, let me see. Volcon. Mr. VIP back in action. Hello, hello. Did you wipe? Are you raiding? Constant sunlight would drive me to being part of a cult too. Yeah, it's no good. For people who can leave, it's like, it's a-okay, it's fine. They can deal with it. But, yeah, the Bexarim are the people who simply cannot. They are bound to their homeland. They cannot leave. Ah, oh, look, I wrote about a different settlement in Bolkan called Maroon. Perfect. That's another pin that I can add. Give me that list. And that is located, well, it's not really located in any one place. It circles the giant volcanoes in the middle of the zone as a, kind of like a rotating settlement or traveling kind of traveling settlement. Wouldn't really call them nomads because they follow like a fixed path. Like the whole region around the mountains would be considered kind of their city. But only one place at a time is really considered the city proper. And it's big on mining, specifically volcanic stone that's just constantly erupting everywhere all around them. Yeah, it's volcano land. Yeah, I do want to say just real quick, everyone who's here, thank you for joining me. It is very nice and very fun to just be working on my world building and rambling, because I'm actually doing it instead of sitting and like stewing in my room and not actually completing any work. Which would be what is happening, which would be what happens if I did not have a captive audience here, just kind of watching me work. Or even if you're not watching, at least you being here, you perceiving that I am in fact completing something and doing something productive with my time, it's very nice. We are all buddies, and hopefully some of us are buddies in creation right now. That'd be very nice. I just really like the idea of people kind of hanging out in my stream and using that time to be productive on their own. It makes me very happy. So let us get the capital city, Aurel, just kind of situated. Now, do I have an article for Aurel? I don't actually know. Spacebar challenged. Hello! Hi! Hope you've been well. Oh, hello, yes. I feel like, oh my gosh, it's been such a long time since we've talked. How are you? So nice seeing old faces pop up again. I hope you've been well. I've been very busy. I've been quite frazzled by life, but it has been pretty good. A lot of things seem quite up, and we are just here today being productive. We're working on some maps. We're having a good time. I'm definitely hoping to have this done by the end of the week. Hopefully I don't have as much stuff to do at work tomorrow and Thursday. And maybe I can sneak in a little bit of productivity. Productivity unrelated to work, of course. Oh my gosh, every single day that I've had at the office where we've had nothing to do for work, so we're just kind of sitting around doing nothing, those have been my most productive world building days. I swear to God. It has been absolutely amazing. And part of me wishes I could just do that all the time. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should just stay at the office sometime, like clocked out. Just stay at the office and get more work done, because the environment is just like, the vibe is good at the office. It's a very good working vibe. Alive and kicking. Oh yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, mini vacation sounds so nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my vacation in April. Very eager to just kind of, I'll have like a whole week and a half off. It'd be amazing. But yes, where do I have anything about the city's capital? I don't know that I do. I'll have to write it myself. What a crime. And now we've circled back to the worst part of creating your own world is actually doing the creating. Except it's not the worst, it just takes so much effort. All that time and effort just, ugh. Ugh, why do we do this to ourselves? Writers, man, am I right? to come up with a little tagline for this. I used to have one. I know I did. And then I, like a fool, was like, let's rewrite everything about this place, about this city, about the whole region. Which, I mean, it needed to be done. But still. How could I do this to myself? So I'm just gonna dip into my Google Drive real quick, and I'm gonna see if there is anything tucked away from this. Oh, that's bright. It's also not the document I wanted. Can I make the background paper of my Google Docs not blinding white? Is that a feature? Like, do I really have to squint at this? Oh? Oh, I can change the painted color. Ooh. Oh, but like the rest of the everything else is just not. Ooh. I think I've rewritten my world overall timeline like 3 times now. Yeah, I have written so much and then nuked it and then rewritten it and then nuked it again. And I continue to live in this cycle. It's a rough life out there, gamers. But as it turns out, I do have a little bit of writing left over for this one city. So hopefully we can use it. Okay, let's see what we can cook up with today. Cook up today. How many characters is this? Not enough, I would assume. 120? Wow, that's exact. That's exactly the number that is required for a pin. I definitely want more than that, probably. Probably want a little bit more than just a few. I want to mention some of the tension in this city, and not just the fact that it is a city that exists and is a capital of this region. Maybe. Imagine putting detail in the things you write. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Let's go back to the Kingdom of Arsavala, see if I scattered anything into this about. I'm still very happy with how the map of this region came out. I'm just gonna look at it again. So yeah, it'll probably, like, this is another one of those things where like, oh, I've changed this 6,000 times. This map used to be so dinky. It was such a sad little region. But then I completely changed the layout of the entire continent, first of all. The entire layout of this region changed. Like the entire shape, the region, the proportions, everything. Everything's different. I don't even know if I still have the image. I think I purged it from my life. Oh, no, I still have it. It do be existing. Yeah, look at this dinky little thing. With its old name. Just zoom in on that. Yeah, look at this very dinky little the other the other window zoomed into. Yeah, very dinky little thing with this tiny little strip of desert. I don't know what I was going for back then. But now we have this Chad region. The dinky desert is now a whole thing. Not weirdly cropped in around itself. I feel like both may have their merits. But I'm much happier now with the current map that I have. I'm probably gonna feel that way about basically every region on this side of the continent. This side of the continent is where the first 3 regions I ever created for this world originated. Yeah, this is like, this half of the continent, basically, can I zoom in on this more? No, I can't, haha. Basically from this mountain to the east, this little circle of stuff. Yeah, those are the original, the OG 3 zones that I came up with when I first started writing this world. And they are quite cool, quite fun, if I may say so myself. They're pretty standard fantasy fare, but I don't know. I feel like you can't go wrong with the classics a lot of the time. Not everything needs to be brand new, revolutionary, and different. Sometimes you just gotta like it. And I do. Yeah, we have fun here. That is our goal. I'm just like, I'm writing all of this for myself, you know? Like, I'm taking all these things that I like about fantasy and just smashing them together in my world. And hopefully, as I improve in my writing and I just kind of do it more, get a feel for what I actually do and don't like in a fantasy world, I'll maybe refine it and make it a little more cohesive. And then we'll end up with some good stuff. Because right now it's just a, I don't know, it's kind of a mishmash, but it's starting to get a little bit more defined as I go. Like with every event, I feel like I'm just kind of pulling things a little closer together. And that's kind of the goal, just improving over the course of several years. Every time I open up this website and I just kind of write a little bit more, it's just that much more that I'm actually finally putting into the world and developing of my world. Yeah, we're gonna end up with some good stuff. That's the goal. I just want to end up with a world that I am happy with, that I am proud of, and that I can have other people jump into. Whether it's because we're playing some kind of D&D role-playing game, or if I'm just writing some stories that other people get to read. I would at some point like to write actual stories for my world, but I would need to figure out what exactly those stories would be. I was looking for something. What was I looking for? It's a very good question for myself. Oh, I don't think I put categories on the... I didn't put categories on the little sub-regions in here. Brianville Forest, Savella Northlands, Malakaj Barrens. We're just gonna edit these real quick. And we are going to parent article. Kingdom of Arsavella. So not a full category by any means, just... That's not gonna do anything weird, is it? Oh, it's gonna put everything down here. Which I guess isn't a... It's not a bad thing. It's not exactly what I want. But I'm sure that's okay. It's not really gonna affect anything, I don't think. You can just... I'm just gonna have this little Kingdom of Arsavella tag at the bottom. That I do like. I do like that it's gonna link back to its papa. But yeah, we're just gonna pop these little... I'm gonna pop these into their proper categories before I forget to, because I know I'm going to. It's not particularly relevant at this exact moment for what I'm doing, but it's gonna make me feel better. And whatever makes me feel better makes me write better, so... It is 2023. It is the year in which we do nice things for ourselves. And that nice thing for me right now is organizing. Yeah, and so now these 3 articles pop up in the little regions tab of my article categories. Why do I have a stub article for sticker? Oh, I actually did write something for this. Did I? When did I make this? Happy time zones! Hi Katoypoi, how are you doing? Have you come to be productive with me in this lovely 2-hour map session? Writing session? Musing about articles and things session? Yeah, okay, so I did not create this during this World Ember and just forget to publish it, thank goodness. I made this in 2020. Oh gosh, that was a while ago now. I'm gonna hang out for a bit while I send my winner in for my category. I have to do that still. I still have to make my final choices. I was trying my best to kind of sort the articles into little like tiers. And so I have kind of like a copper, silver, gold, and diamond kind of deal going on. And ideally diamond should be for the winner. But I have like 5 articles in diamond right now. It's difficult, I will say. I'm going to write my New Year's resolution article using articles in my prompt. Yeah, I'm actually doing the same thing. Except I'm making it really difficult on myself and I'm writing about basically all of them. You know, nothing crazy, just some light work. It's fine though. We are on top of things, as it were. Which is not something that I feel like I get to say very often. Let's see. Geographic locations. The Gilded Reef does indeed have its own article, which is something I will definitely want to pop in. Yeah, this is one of my little articles where I didn't feel like separating things into GM knowledge yet, because it was summer camp and I just wanted to get the words out there for people to read. One article I read and it was overwhelming winner in my brain. There are other good ones in there. Ooh. Now I'm excited to hear what was like the overwhelming winner for you. Yeah, because I didn't personally have like oh this is the one kind of moment. Um I just felt like there were several articles out of the bunch that just like they captivated me. They really caught my interest. They made me really excited. Um but no single one stood out like as on top of all the rest. So I've just been debating. I've been trying to pick out my favorite. It's a tough one. Because for some of them, it's like, it's a battle between like, oh, this article was so beautifully put together, everything's so organized and lovely, and like this person's an amazing writer. And then there's maybe an article that isn't really like aesthetically amazing, but the concepts, like the ideas, are just ooh, ooh. So I'm not judging on any one individual category or on polish or presentation. Had a tie in my brain, made an article on the community side. Yeah. The community will always rush to your aid in such situations. So I have to make Nimavi a. I have to give that its own little region tag. Did I make an article for Iris Halna? I don't think I did. Where are we? Nimavi, navigation, regions, save. I think it automatically saves, but that's fine. View, regions, excellent. And now if I go to my regions category, yeah, they're in there. Okay, very nice. But again, I'm dodging the actual task at hand, that is finishing the description for this city pin. Once home to the Arsaces monarchy, this city is now lorded over by the Alabaster Hand. We'll get like our little rough drafts in for these pins, and we'll refine them later. We'll refine them maybe in our own time when we have a little more insight as to how we actually want this stuff to all work. Boom. We now have a pin for the city. Let me move my face out of the way. Oh my gosh, stop. See how we have our little pin, little image, little fancy quote. I'm not the biggest fan of it at the moment because it's a little lengthy for me. The quote itself. Did that shorten it like at all? A little, yeah. That's I think that works. The way that these pins just kind of open and then stay open if you don't X out of them, it's a little annoying to navigate. Preppy Monty Poppycock has followed, thank you. Hello, how are you today? Yes, everyone Once again, I ask everyone who's in here, what might you be working on today? Boop, boop, hello. Hello and welcome, welcome in. Yes, indeed, today I am making good on this thing that I keep saying I'm going to do, and I'm working on my map. And we are hoping for the best. Okay, so we do need to put down a few more pins. Let me see. Where do these people live? Like over here somewhere, I think. I'm starting a new world for 2023. Oh, that's so exciting. What kind of world is it gonna be? Ooh, this previewer opens up so many windows. Or continuing on an ancient one, rather. Ooh, that's intriguing. Ooh. Oh gosh, what was the tag for these little itty bitty boys? That was like settlement or whatever, right? Yeah. I guess I want that thing. This. How do I close the referencer? Okay, perfect. And that will be Ankana. I think there's an article for this city already, which would be very nice. So then I don't really have to come up with anything new. Yeah. It is a terrible one. I just imagined how it would look like if you dropped a nuke on a late medieval world. Oh, goodness. I mean, it does sound like it'd be... It sounds like it'd be very interesting to explore that concept. Now, is this just like a plain old regular medieval world where, like a real life kind of world? Or is this like a medieval fantasy world where things are weird beyond just being nuked? Are there strange magics afoot? Fantasy, but very low fantasy. Ooh. Low fantasy does have a draw to me, but I just always gravitate towards the high fantasy. I love the idea of magic too much to pass it up, you know? I love like all the big, all that fantasy stuff, you know? Like you think fantasy, magic. Ah, like that's my favorite stuff. I love all that. But all the other worlds are sometimes a breath of fresh air, and I do love seeing them. Don't really need this article open anymore. Correct. Well, no, actually, I do need this article still open. Do you want to see my intro I'm sending for the article I picked without me telling the actual winner? Ooh. That sounds like a fun little game right there. In the past, when I've sponsored for Summer Camp and World Ember, I've had a bunch of candidates, any one of which could have been the winner. This year there were articles that made me laugh, and honestly a few that I liked more. But I cannot deny the overwhelming force of... To be continued. It's already starting off very strong. It's very... Oh. To be continued. Yeah. That's a very... You can tell us, Kit, we won. Exactly. Any more than that, you'll know the winner. Ah, yes. Well, we can't know yet. It's too soon. We must keep our secrets just a little bit longer. Yes, I'm excited to pick out my winner. I just need to sit down and really make that choice, you know? A lot of it too is just like, ooh, what are my artist fingies itching to draw? Like, what do I want to sink my bird talons into and just fly away with, you know what I mean? Which of these articles inspires my artist hands? As it turns out, basically all of them did, because I drew something for every single person I streamed for. But who would I not mind sitting and drawing for like 15 hours for? Now I have no excuses to not work on my New Year's resolution article, except the spouse wants to watch a movie. Oh. Well, of course, I think after all of that, you do deserve a little movie break. Enjoy some movies with the spouse. Oh yes, but we were here. Description for Ancana. I'll have to fix that in a moment. I'm off. Enjoy the stream. Thanks for stopping by, Katoy. Have a wonderful time. Now I'm curious about who Kit picked. Yeah, there were a lot of certified bangers in every single category. It's just I'm just amazed by anyone who submitted for like more than one category. I think I only submitted articles to like 2 or 3, maybe at most, because I don't know, I didn't put together a lot of like really well thought out articles this year. I put out like a couple that I really liked, that I really enjoyed working on, that I really enjoyed doing. In particular, the article for Kingdom of Arsavella, I just really like how I laid it out. I'll toot my own horn there. Like I made a whole map for the region. I did all this little fun finagling, and I'm excited. Put some mid-journey art in there, like did some edits, mashed some images together. I'm just quite happy with the layout of that article. And one of the other articles I did for the Servid Revenant, I submitted that one. I don't think it's gonna like go very far because it's a very short article, very brief, very kind of generic look at what this creature would be. Yeah, it's just kind of, it's one of those like, it's all laced with mystery kind of articles. Like this is what it is. We don't know anything about it. It just stares at you. Enjoy. But I do think it's a cute article. I don't know, let me see if I can grab it real quick. I did read your Kingdom article, I think. Yeah, I definitely shared it around a few times. I believe during Moro's last stream, it was like the last article she read. I had to like dip out. I had to dip out like right before she started reading it because I was also streaming like right after, which is a little sad. I wanted to be there for it, but it's okay. But yeah, she read it on her stream. I don't remember. I think someone else might have, in theory. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, the Servid Revenant. This is just my it's just an article I submitted for. There's a little prompt during the advent calendar. So write about a species that survives in a cold environment. I took the term survives very loosely. this thing is like undead. But it's out there. It's technically kind of living out there. And yeah. All the blue in the images is a little contrasty to the theme of my world, but it's alright. I would at some point maybe like to go with kind of like a more neutral tone for the world as a whole, like my CSS, my everything. I saw that one too. I really enjoyed the aesthetic of your world. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wanted the aesthetic of the world itself to be kind of like sunny, like sunlight theme. Very like light, kind of dawn themed. So maybe in the future it might be a little bit less on the like the dark red, but I also kind of I don't know, I wanted it to be dark because I don't want it to just be this totally bright thing because it's not supposed to be a totally bright world. I want it to be a setting where if you want a bright story, you can have a bright story. And if you want things to go dark and terrible, they can go dark and terrible very quickly. So not everything everywhere has to be awful and messy, but you can certainly make it that way. And either way you choose to go, it's still very canon and very, very normal. Very, very true to the world, to the setting. But let's see, what image am I looking for? I get sort of a twofold feeling, one of sunset and creation, one of destruction and fire. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of, yeah, it's like very similar to the kind of vibe I want to go for. Like it's definitely like it's the kind of tagline for my world is like seek a new dawn in Malcora. That is kind of like what I want to inspire. But just because it's a new dawn doesn't mean it's always going to be sunshine and daisies. Sometimes it's sunshine and firewalls, you know? And I think that is totally reasonable. What am I making right now? Encana. Location? Hit the nail on the head then, as I see it at least. Okay, good. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's always really reassuring when other people kind of confirm that I'm doing these things. Like, ah yes, I see things in a certain way, but other people might not always. It may not always be quite so. Location. I guess location. I would consider a settlement a location. The brain cell isn't always shared. Yeah, exactly. Did it put the pin down? Yeah, it did. It's a little... I might need to move this a little here. Gosh, I sure wish I came up with a capital city name for Everbright. I want it to be nice and cool. As many, I imagine, want their worlds to be. But I am not cool. We'll come up with something. I know we will. We'll get there. Okay, so what must I still do? So yes, all three of these. Those have pins already. These also have pins. These have pins. How do you normally come up with names for places? It's kind of a... I don't know, sometimes it's just like spur of the moment inspiration. I come up on like a sound I like, maybe like a cluster of consonants and vowels that just they tickle me just right. And so I'll kind of just bend around typical naming conventions for places and just find a mishmash of sounds that I like and make sense. Sometimes I'll look at certain regions of my world and think like I kind of want the native language of this region to have kind of like a like insert real world language kind of feel. And so I'll try to name it sort of in a convention similar to how they might have a region be named. Um, but that's not always. I feel like I've been doing that a little bit less often, or at the very least, it's been like very vague in how I've been linking these real world naming conventions. You know. Sometimes if I'm like really struggling to find an inspiration, I'll pop open like a fantasy name generator or something and just kind of click around until again I see something that I like, and then depending on how well it fits, I'll kind of like tear it apart, take a little start here and end here, like kind of smash them together and see what sticks. But yeah, that's kind of my process. It's a little all over the place, but we like being a little bit all over the place, I think. Oh gosh, is there still a sticker on the bottom of this? Oh no. That's gonna bother me. I have juice in here. I can't just turn this over and take off the sticker. But I also can't see if I'm like ripping it right now. I noticed it, so now it has to be removed. It's hard out here when you're a bird. Ooh. I mean, it's coming off very cleanly. I'm very happy. Ooh. Beautiful. We've done it. Mission accomplished. I'm surprised the sticker's like still on there. Like I've washed this mug several times. This paper must be like made of steel or something. It was still like nice. Oh. Yeah, this mug, this is an example of why I cannot be permitted to go to stores. I just keep buying mugs. But also, I'm matching a little bit, kind of. This is a little lighter than my hat, but I like this color. It's a good color. Same, wish I had a more consistent way of naming things. Yeah, to be honest, me too. At least for at least one region of my world, I dabbled in the art of conlanging. And so hopefully throughout that process, I might in the future rename some areas of it and some places nearby, kind of based in this conlang's way of being. uh in their native phonetics and all that. But I just need to figure out exactly how that would be. I think if I would put a real world kind of comparison to what this language in my brain, I kind of wanted it to sort of be like kind of like a weird mix of Italian and Polish. I thought that sounded really cool. I just think I think Polish in general has a lot of really cool sounds to it. A lot of really cool. I just think the language is awesome. Um, and so there was a brief period when I was trying to learn it. Um, I just I wasn't in a space to devote a lot of time to it. And so I've learned precious little, if anything. Nie mówię po polsku. I cannot. I do not speak Polish. Uh, but yet, I love languages, but I hate linguistics, alas! Oh, what a plight. See, I adore linguistics. I think it is the coolest subject out there. And so it is definitely something that I want to study more. Even if I don't study languages, like languages themselves specifically, though I don't think I will ever stop, I do for sure want to study linguistics more in depth. I know one Polish word and it's not a nice one. It does it start with a K? that's that's the one I know off the top of my head. Yeah, there you go. Nie mówię po polsku. That's what I said. Indeed, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's essential vocabulary from what I've heard, but not very friendly. Yeah, see, I'm my first language was Russian, so I know a handful of very colorful words. Um that probably I shouldn't say to anybody or to anyone in public. And unfortunately, because I don't really speak Russian anymore to basically like I don't have a reason to for the most part. Um of course this means I've lost a lot of my vocabulary and a lot of my confidence in speaking. But those words, those wordy girl. Hello, hello, how are you? Thank you for the raid and thank you for bringing your wonderful viewers with you. Huh? Today we are we're working on filling out this map so I can be prepared for the world building awards. We are currently in a little discussion about languages and linguistics. I hope you enjoy watching. This is a little productive chill stream, so pull up some articles, pull up some things that you're working on, and sit back and relax. But yeah, so not using Russian very much in my daily life anymore means I don't really speak it too well. But those nasty, naughty words that you're not supposed to say, those are just etched into my brain for all eternity. Those don't want to leave. Oh, I just clicked and dragged this. I do not want that. So yeah, this is kind of a lot of me struggling with the map feature on WorldAnvil. It's a very nice feature and I do love it. But it's tough. Hi there, sorry, I hope the raid worked. It sure did. Hello, wordy girl. Hello, how are you? How was your stream? I hope today it actually worked. I know you've been having troubles. Still not completely the way I want it, but I've been working at it. Very customizable. Yeah, I use Streamlabs, and so I think it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. But I think it's like functionally the same as OBS. So yeah, you can do a lot of fun things. Ronin Fox, thank you for following. How are you doing? But yeah, I've been kind of messing around with my little, well, not messing around. I concocted this stream layout kind of like a couple days before I started streaming because I was like, ooh, I need these right now. Right now. If I don't start now, I'm never gonna start. And here I am. Now I get to sit here and do world building stuff. And hopefully do it with all you guys. I'm very glad that all of you are hanging out with me, because yeah, this is like this is fantastic. I am so much more productive right now than I have been basically for the past few weeks. And it's very fun to just be here doing this with you guys. Do I have an article for Aletta? I don't think I do. I do, but it is not public, is it? Okay, there's nothing in here. The stub exists, but there is nothing more. So now, do I want to fill it in with something? Do I want to make an actual article of it? Do I want to link an article related to the settlement? Or do I not link anything at all? It's a tough one. It's a tough decision to make. Because I want all the pins on this map to be pretty consistent with each other. But at the same time, I don't have consistent levels of content for every point of interest on this map. You know, like I don't have an article for every single thing that I'm putting on here. And I think putting together a decent looking article for every single thing on here by Friday, when I have a lot of other things to do also in that time, it doesn't seem very feasible for me. I'm sure I could squeeze it out if I really tried. And depending on what I decide I need to do, I likely will try. But I also just need to not burn myself out on this. As an artist, that is one of my favorite pastimes, is just burning myself out. Do you have to have a description of every pin on a map in order to submit it? Yes, so the requirements for the Worldbuilding Awards for the cartography category, you have to have 30 pins, and each of them needs to have about 120 characters of description. Which, you know, it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all, but I have articles linked to several of these pins. And so I want to kind of keep the amount of information available through each pin to be about consistent. But that would be like a perfect world scenario. I would love to have that happen, but I don't think it will. Yeah, come up with a title for Vinarsa. Oh, not Vinarsa, for Aletta. My only substantial map has 250 pins. Should probably sit this one out. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm like just around... I have 28 on my list right now, which means... well, technically 27 because I haven't filled this one out yet. Yeah, so I need to slap a couple more in here. It's difficult for me to come up with more pins for this right now because, again, I just haven't fully developed the whole world yet, so I don't know everything that's out here yet. Like, even I don't know these secrets yet. There is still a lot of work that must be done in order to figure out who and what exactly is all out here. And how tragic I'm almost out of juice. Oh yes, today's drink of the day, by the way, is cran apple juice. Cranberry apple. That is my absolute favorite. I say it's my absolute favorite. Cranberry raspberry might be beating it, but I'm not sure. I love cran apple. Yeah, cran apple is so good. So are the things to the left and right of your pins kind of uncharted territory? The left and right? You mean like all the way out here? All the way out here is definitely uncharted territory for me. Everything out here is pretty uncharted. Things down here are kind of nebulous. Don't have anything I think worthy of submitting to the awards. I was made in 2022, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't have like a lot. I have a lot of articles from last year that I'm very proud of. But I definitely need to go over what the categories are again and see if any of them actually fit, because I don't know that they do. They seem very, they seem like very specific. I don't know if that's the right word. And even if I thought any of them did fit, I'd probably want to maybe edit them or update them a little bit to kind of tailor them to the prompt, to the category. I'm definitely gonna crawl through my articles and see if there's anything that I can submit to the awards, because I mean, you know, I want to try at least. It'd be fun. So, oh, some of the ones I thought were cool to submit ended up being the wrong template. Oh, yeah, that's absolutely tragic. Cause it's too late for you to go and change them now. So it's so sad. Yeah, this is something I definitely wish I prepared myself more for, but unfortunately December, every single year, I think it's not going to be, but it always ends up being a hell month. And so all these things I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all this done, I'm gonna be so productive. Like, oh, I'm gonna have all this time off of work or school or whatever it was any given year. And yes, I have that time off because it's the holiday. But it's also the holiday. So I think I'll always think that I have more time than I do. Because then things get hectic. I'm like driving around to go visit people. I'm visiting my family. I'm hanging out with my family. Ugh. And all that time that I think, oh, I'm not going to be working. I have time to write. I have time to draw. No. No, you don't. You think you will, but you will almost never have that time. Okay, so I was trying to pull up a specific article. The main thing I spent so much time on was made for Worldbuilding of 2021. Just updated it, yeah. Yeah, I straight up just like didn't participate in Worldbuilding 2021. Just so sad. I wish I at least I wish I at least took part. I think I was at this this kind of place where I felt like I was in fact like just way in over my head just because of like a lot of different things. It's like I'm not even going to push myself. I'm not even going to attempt. I'm just going to take this like holiday month to relax. And I'm just ugh. Cause I didn't quite make it for the summer camp like 5-year veteran badge because I joined like immediately after the first summer camp. That's when I like got onto the website and started using. I've participated in every summer camp since. But now I'm like, oh, because I skipped a year of Worldbuilding, does that mean I'm gonna miss out on a like veteran badge down the line because I just wasn't because I just wasn't doing it. And I know sometimes resting is good for you, and I'm like, it is good for you, I know that. But I want the things. I want the shinies. Yeah, you won a category in 21. Oh, that's so cool. I could only dream of winning like an actual category. Like my soul left my body when I made the shortlist for the On the Shoulders of Giants challenge, and like that alone, like I didn't win, but like I got on the shortlist. That's pretty cool. People decided that I wrote something good. I was hoping. I was so proud of the article that I made and the timeline. or the chronicle that I put together. Honestly, this map that I'm working on is very similar to that chronicle in that that chronicle was also flavored as being like somebody's notes. Like there was a whole timeline and everything. Every pin you clicked on was just like, oh yes, there's like this little scribbling in the notebook and some little flavor text and some description that the person wrote. I just, yeah, I think it's really fun to write things in like the perspective of someone from inside of your world. It's a lot of fun. Cause then you get to see the world from the perspective of someone who's actually in there. And then it doesn't necessarily read like it's just some informational packet that you're handing out to people. Which you know, like the flat Wikipedia approach is something I do like for my articles, like articles in particular. But any kind of like material that I create, like my chronicle, my map, I like having those be like a thing. That's like maybe you found this in the world, you found this during an adventure. Just I don't know, it makes it more fun, it makes it more flavorful, exactly. Adding that flavor, that engagement. But yeah, I'm crawling through a couple articles to see what I can write about the city of Valletta. That was a city that was sieged by a neighboring city that they thought they were very good friends with because they were jealous that they received a holy relic from the church and they did not. So they wanted to take it. And unfortunately, in doing so, the church was like, hey, we were gonna give you one too, but now you kinda don't deserve it. Ink stains, just noticed. Genius way of dealing with an incomplete world map. Yeah, so this map is actually from my challenge from Dimmy, you see. And he asked me to create a map of my whole world and describe the points of interest on it. And see, I have multiple continents kind of like mapped out on my world map, but there is not a single thing on this side of the world that I have thought about. Just flat out. And I don't plan to for a very long time. They're like, you know how games do this thing where they'll like release a part of the world and they're like, that's it, there you go. And then they make an expansion and it's like, oh whoa, wow, this island just popped up out of nowhere from like the mists. Look at the stuff that's on it. That's kind of the approach that I'm trying to take here. So this continent, Nephirin, that exists right now. And all of this doesn't right now. And yeah, I drew this little, yeah, cough, wow, cough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so some cartographer somewhere is like extremely upset because their beautiful hand-drawn map has just been completely ruined by a tiny little mischief maker. But yeah, exactly. Like how World of Warcraft just kind of plops new regions onto their map after having like established lore in all these other places. That's basically kind of the approach that I'm taking with my world building. We'll see what wacky wild adventures we can come up with for the mainland. And then one day, there might be more of the world to explore. And that's fun. Yeah, so basically I made all this map stuff in Incarnate, threw it into Photoshop, put a bunch of like overpainting and filters over it to make it all kind of old and grungy. And then I drew in all the ink stains and things. This little splatter, this bottle. Cartographer is just so upset that he hasn't even bothered to pick up the bottle yet. Just leaving it there to drip ink everywhere, because it's already ruined. What's the point? You should pick it up soon, because ink is very expensive. At least the good stuff is. But yeah. So that is my approach with this map, and I quite like it. I'm quite happy with it. Unfortunately, doing this on this kind of scale does mean that I can't really, I mean, I guess I don't really need to zoom in any further than this, but like this is as close as we get to the map. Um, for an overview, I think that is fine. Like that's perfectly good. Because you can just see all the pins. It's very general, like, okay, here are like individual regions of the world. Yeah. I'm quite happy with it. And so I'm just going to be slowly working my way through all of these pins and getting them into tip-top shape, like so. I'm gonna get... We're kind of following... Hold on, let me see. Let me move myself out of the way here. Much success with this submission. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we're trying to follow this kind of formula, you see, where we have the title. That's default. It's always there. Oh gosh. This little like three line. I'm gonna try to keep it as like a 3-line little quote, a little snippet, a little flavor text, if you will. And then an image. And when you click on the pin, those 3 things show up, and it's clean, it's nice. And then if you scroll down a little, any description that I put under it is gonna be down there. And so I like the way that looks, and that's gonna be kind of how I try to do this whole thing. And yeah, I think it's very manageable. I think it's a very reasonable goal for me to shoot for. And so now the goal is just to finish it. I just need to get it done so that I can submit it. Even if it's not perfect, at least it'll be done and I will be very happy with it. Like I'm already pretty jazzed about it. I'm already pretty excited about how it is and how it looks and what we are doing with it. We just need to get the details. We need to get the work done. We were working on this. We believe in you. Thank you. Be proud of it. It's an outstanding map. Oh, thank you. I like making things. So it's so fun to just be like getting back into the world building thing. Like my last year's resolution, well, I don't know if I could call it like a New Year's resolution. I think I kind of started it. It was a summer camp resolution. How about that? That I would get back into my world building, that I would like really take it seriously, or like, you know, seriously. Um I take it seriously enough to at least just keep working on it, be a little more consistent about it, like really apply myself, as it were, and just really have fun with it and like stick with it. And I think I have been doing a good job at it. There were some points during World Ember that I thought I was kind of losing at that a little bit because I wasn't super productive. I wasn't getting a lot of writing done. Like I had a kind of strong start. Like first week of World Ember, I made the Kingdom of Arsavella article. And that was like a good like 1,000+ word article. I'm like, mint, beautiful. We are so on track. And then like the next week I made the Servid Revenant article. And like those two, you'll notice, are my like nicest, neatest articles from last month. Everything else is just kind of words thrown thrown into an article, so I could get words thrown into articles. With some layout, with some imagery, some, you know, but it wasn't, I didn't really have that polish. Whereas like summer camp this year, summer camp when like I really started, I had like that fire going. Like everything was at least like kind of consistent. It wasn't like perfectly laid out, it wasn't like completely beautified articles. But like they were all done and they were all like pretty consistent in how they were laid out and how they were written. And I even finished ahead of time. So I had time to go edit my articles after I had written them all. After I'd submitted everything, I'd finished summer camp, I still had time to go edit. And like several days of time, you know what I mean? Like that was very nice. But meanwhile, World Ember, I literally worked until like the minute that it closed. And I ended up at like 10,100 words or something. So, a little close. A little too close for comfort, if you will. Oh, we'll call that a good description for Enkana. Now we refresh this, and there is a new pin. Wonderful. Definitely need to add more to that description, but at least we have the pin, and we have the image and the things at least in there, so we like that. What else? What else? What else shall I add? Vinarsa. I don't think I have quite literally anything. Oh gosh, yeah, I have to... I ended up with a few short ones, smallest one being 51 words. Feels a bit like cheating. Oh no. It's not cheating. It's your work, it's your article, so it should be fine, right? Do I have a cute... Narsa. Okay, so... all the words, good words, exactly. Um... Do I have an image in my store of them that I would actually use for this region? I don't know that I do. Some weren't all that good either. Oh no. Listen, sometimes you make stuff and you feel like it's just not good. But as it turns out, people really like your writing, even if it's like a tiny little snippet. I do like reading tiny little snippets of people's work. Just, I don't know. Like sometimes, like if it's like a tiny amount of writing, but it's like a good little good little taste of what's in your world, it just makes me want to read more. And boom, now you have a returning customer. Yeah, I don't know that I have an image for this region specifically. So that might be a good time. You know, I don't really have a visual in mind in general for this region. I often publish short stories because sometimes I don't have enough time to put it all out there. Yeah. Ooh. Let's, might have to take a little journey to my good friend Midjourney. Yeah, I kind of want to get better at writing like bite-sized pieces of content. Just in general, not like not like oh, I want to write everything as small and short. Like even with these pins, like I'm kind of struggling a little bit to come up with little like 1 to 2 sentence descriptions for all my things. If I could just figure that out. If I could just figure out how to write little descriptions in like a deliciously tantalizing way, that'd be really nice. It'd be cool to just do that. And so the juice is gone. It is over. Hmm. Yeah, like I kind of don't even know what I want Vinarsa to look like just aesthetically, like what I want their kind of vibe to be. It's definitely going to be one of those regions of my world that isn't like super weird or broken up by magic. I want it to be kind of foresty, kind of grasslandy. But yeah, short writings. Yeah, you can always go add more. That is the beauty of it. Hmm. What do I want this place to look like? I don't rightly know. Because as far as my not super magic-y regions go, I already have a place that's like super big on agriculture. So there's a lot of like fields, a lot of grassland that already exists. And I do already have kind of like a mountainous region. We could go something more foresty, but I also kind of don't really want to do that either. It's a toughie. Ooh. Doing, trying to rack the brain real quick. I want it to be kind of, so let's see, where it's located, like right here in the world. Imagine it'd be kind of warm, kind of like a temperate place. Vaguely tropical. This entire section down here, I kind of want to be like distinctly jungle-like. It's sort of like a lot of this used to be jungle before it kind of all burned to the ground. And even still, things around this border do kind of burn up. And it's not ideal, but this entire little valley section here would be like a dense jungle. Very difficult to fight through. And maybe someday, maybe, when I think about more of what this section of the world could be, we might have something rather rewarding on the other side that you'd want to fight through a terrible dense jungle for. So who knows what is in there? I don't. I don't even know. So it could be anything. Story of El Dorado, yeah. Yeah, Midjourney's not being nice to me because they don't support the 5:3 aspect ratio in the current version. So I have to make it use the previous version. I don't know why that's the why that's kind of the aspect ratio that I've settled on for my favorite way to generate an image, but I don't know. I just think it works. I just think it's neat. But yes, endless possibilities is kind of just how I feel about world building, especially because I'm still in this stage where not everything is defined. There's still a lot about my world that is like very distinctly not defined. And I just don't quite know what exactly I'm doing. And I think that's fun. I think that is all part of the process. And it's kind of been just my goal. Is just enjoy the process. Is just have fun. I love 2.5. I yearn for the day Midjourney updates their V4. Yeah. It'd be cool. It'd be very cool. Oh, I did it again. Tried to do the command without the thing. Oh, wordy girl, you're heading out. Yes, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a blessed time zone. I vaguely know your time zone. Yes, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you had fun at the stream. Oh, why is that? Ugh. I appreciate the chill stream, yeah. I will be doing this again on Thursday if you want to stop by again. I don't know what you're doing that day. But yes, chill streams, getting work done. I'm just trying to see what Midjourney might come up with for me. So I am kind of thinking like, oh, what if we we all have that kind of idea of like what this kind of bastion of a holy city might look like in like a fantasy setting. But what if we did that and just kind of put it in kind of like a jungle environment? Or it's not like we're not in the heavy jungle right now, but it's definitely tropical. It's a classic kind of classic fantasy Holy Land setting. Just if only Midjourney would give me like the right atmosphere, you know? And of course, from this city, you'd see quite literally just over the horizon one region in which the sun never sets, and one region in which the volcanoes just never stop erupting. So there's just ash and dust flying over the horizon practically at all times. Where is my. Oh, where is the tab I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, let's see. Cause like we're looking at this region over here. I think I'm gonna try my hand at some vector art this year, relying too much on AI, I think. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm also relying too much on it right now. And so I'm really hoping that in the near future I can just kind of settle down and start making my own work again. Just making my own art, my own illustrations. I have a couple of my own illustrations just kind of scattered throughout my world, and I think that they are lovely wherever they show up. But I don't do them nearly enough. Not these days anyway. Just always working on a different project, always working on like either something for someone else or some unrelated thing. There's always something that needs to be done. Ugh. Okay, now the juice is really gone. I got like that last drop at the bottom of the mug. Oh. And like yeah, it's just too convenient. Yeah, that's like half the problem. It's really convenient to use. Um it's really convenient, but it's also very frustrating. Cause like when I am an artist, and so I kind of go into things from a visual perspective of already kind of knowing what I want to see. And like there are times where I've had like really good successes with the AI, but it does kind of just do what it wants, and it's trained off of the ideas of other people. And so this thing that I have cooked up in my brain that I want to put into the world isn't always something that the AI can spit out. So sometimes I will spend entirely too long just trying to get the image that I want out of it. And of course I could just learn how to do the prompts better. Sure, I probably could. Um, but at that rate, I feel like I would just be better served trying to just using the AI for general ideas of what I want something to look like as a placeholder. And then just making my own artwork later, either from scratch or as a paint over, I don't know. But I do want to stop just relying on it. I would like to eventually just stop using it completely. But again, it's just a time thing, and I want my work to look nice. You know, like I want to present it with imagery because it's just, you know, I'm an artist, I speak visually in a lot of ways as much as I do with my writing. And so I want to give people something to look at, and I want something to look at. You know, it's it's just nice. It's pleasing. It's always really cool to like open up an article from somebody and just seeing visuals, just seeing what this place really looks like and how it feels, getting the vibes. It's just really cool. It's really fun. That's how I feel about the new world setting I'm starting. AI really can't make all the things I want. And that was a push I needed. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just need a push. And I most certainly know how that be. we're gonna try kind of one more crack at the prompts right now, and we're gonna just see if something comes out of it that I like. Hopefully there's just something in here I can kind of upscale and at least use as a placeholder here. I can play around with it again another time. You've drawn the background for your world yourself. Are we referring to like the background of like the CSS? Like the stuff tucked away back here and right here, like in my header. Cause the header and such, I kind of did like a mishmash of kind of like I did some like photo bashing and overpainting. So I didn't use AI, if that's kind of the question. I compiled this imagery myself. So at least like, yeah, I would consider that to be a product of my own. So yeah, and this little Malcora like logo thing, I did also just completely make that myself. I made it while I was kind of like playing around with like a word mark logo that I might want to use for my world. Drawn is maybe not the right word, but you made it. Yeah, I did make it. And so I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have it somewhere that I can just kind of pop it open real quick. But I do have this kind of. Oh, it's literally like on my stream in the bottom left corner. That's the like the logo, the word mark for my world for Malcora, and so that M is what you see in my header, my world header. I'm a silly goose. I literally put it on there for everyone to see. But yeah, so cause I come from a fine arts background, so I've fine arts background largely in digital media. So digital media, printmaking, like that kind of stuff. So I have worked a ton with digital images, with like photos, photo editing, photo bashing, like all that kind of stuff. Like that's a lot of what I was working with while I was in college. And it's something that I continue to incorporate in just my general art practice. Um, yeah, like for anyone who tuned into my previous streams, like, yeah, I do continue to hand draw images. Crispy Frog, hi, how are you? You're like, I don't know if you've been here for a little while. You're tuning in kind of like at the tail end of my stream. I should technically be done, but I'm still having fun. I'm still having a good time, so I don't quite want to call it off yet. But hello, hi, how are you? But yeah, so I do still like hand draw all my like digital art. I do like to incorporate photographic elements, so I do like to do photo bashing. I do like to do kind of like incorporating actual like photographic images into my work. Uh, I work graveyard, so I usually miss it. Oh, it's it's okay. But you're here now, so welcome. Hello. We've had a very good productive stream, so I'm glad that I'm here, that I've had this, and I'm glad that you're here, even if it is for just a little while we kind of peter out. Yeah, even if I don't have ideas right now, I would like to put pins on these little building markers that I put onto my map, because I do have kind of like things planned for them, but I don't know exactly what they are or what I'd call them yet. Like even here I have the settlement in the Leech Sea, which would likely be a little like swamp port. And yeah. Ooh. Maybe a capital for Uris Halna. This little port city outside of the Earthen Kingdoms. This is where you would take a ferry from Vinarsa. you would not sail through the Gilded Reef because, again, there are terrible pirates here. Composition is an art in itself. Yeah, it's knowing how to compose an image is sometimes like it is what will really make or break an image. Um, and sometimes that is one of the places where that's one of the places where AI sometimes kind of misses the mark because it can produce absolutely stunning results, but sometimes the AI will just kind of put out an image that doesn't compositionally work, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it. It's a lot of really cool details, a lot of really cool everything, but then the image just doesn't quite seem right. It just, yeah. But yeah, I really enjoy the Gilded Reef in my world, because like, I wrote a lot of words about it. Oh yeah, I actually have the article still pulled up here. Yeah, the Gilded Reef, so named for one of the very, very expensive fish that live there. But they're like nearly impossible to be fished up unless you have like the proper equipment and the proper boats, or else you'll just scare them away. And the people who live there, the Tilbari, who are actually named after this Tilbach fish, they do not take kindly to people who sail over their waters, over their reef, because, I mean, it's a reef, it's very fragile. And most of the boats that try to come through are very large, they're very destructive, they can cause a lot of damage. So the government has quite literally said, hey, you guys want to be pirates? We'll pay you. And they're like, for real? You mean it? And yeah, so as a deterrent for any who would attempt to sail through the reefs, piracy is sanctioned and encouraged by the Tilbari, who will deploy their vessels only to intercept those of foreign origin. Among the most successful of these pirates is Meradi Reza, who earned the moniker Monster of the Reef. So yes, this is the person I wrote for summer camp this past year for the monstrous person. And yeah, here's an example of like one of my favorite images from like the early days of Midjourney. I don't know, I just thought this guy was cool. So yeah, this guy does not care about anything or anyone if they are attempting to sail his reef. He's hailed as a hero at his home, but he is very, very dangerous as a pirate. So yeah, I have a lot of fun coming up with these little things in my world. Like we get down to like the specifics of my world where there's like the species of fish in this one coral reef that these people are named after, but I don't even have like the regions of my world decided yet, you know? Because like half of these regions I only came up with like during summer camp of this year. Um, but a lot of really silly, wacky, itty bitty details about different parts of my world scattered all throughout have existed since long before. So, yeah, I'm hoping that in working on this map, I will be able to I will be able to fix that. I'll be able to remedy that. So yeah, you could say that is my New Year's resolution. There we go. It all comes back around. The challenge at hand. Spiraled Chaos, you got here! Hello, hello! You got here because I am running late. It is okay to sometimes build the trees before you define the forest. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my approach. Cause all the prompts during summer camp just make it so easy for me to write about little details, little things, like hyper specific, like here's this prompt that you are given, write something about it. So I'm like, ooh, you know, there's like this tiny little detail in this one part of the world that I want to explore. So we just go do that. And yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's yeah, it really lends itself to a fun little creative process. I have a good time doing it. It's just a little bit frustrating when I'm trying to like pull those seams together later down the line. Like, ooh, how do I connect all these things in a way that makes sense? And some things do end up getting rewritten, and some things do end up getting like retconned or moved over. And like I have a whole region that I've kind of like, due to how I've moved all my regions in this one area, kind of thought I'd like, oh, maybe I need to rewrite this or move it to somewhere else. Or, like move the premise of this region over somewhere else, but keep the geography. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a tough one. Because that's the thing, okay, about writing little details about individual places. When they're not all connected, it doesn't really matter how far out there they are. You can just do whatever you want. But then whenever you start trying to connect all of them in a way that makes sense, things get a little weird. Because you'll write about this one thing, it's like, how does this one thing exist and work in this place with this other place right nearby that is like super anti this? And so you have to kind of like, it can work, but you have to come up with reasons why. And so it's a challenge. It's a certified toughie. Spiraled Chaos, you should see a little special badge next to your name. It is a privilege I've given to only a small few. But yeah. So me and my world here, we've got a lot of work to do. Only for those with wiggly tentacles. Yes, Mr. Moshpit Monk is one of the others. I don't know if he's got any tentacles. Oh. He might have some somewhere. Some hidden. Not yet. Oh, that's that's ominous. But yes. Yes indeed. So I do think, unfortunately, that it may be time for me to start wrapping things up. And just yeah, I mean I've just had so much fun sitting here writing, just having a little productive session with you guys. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. This has been absolutely wonderful. If you want to check out my world and all the stuff that I'm writing, you can absolutely go check out my author page on WorldAnvil. And yeah, you can find like my world, my recent stuff, all my posts. If you follow me and if you frequent WorldAnvil on the daily, you will see my little notifications that when I post little journal entries like, oh, I'm streaming this, so I'll be posting like my schedule every week. My next stream is going to be on Thursday, same as today, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, GMT -5. And yeah, so I'm going to, I think I'd like to send all of you on a little wacky wild adventure. And if you want to check out my social media, here you go. I'm gonna send you guys on a little, sorry for practically spamming. No, you are wonderful. I'm so happy to have people chatting with me. It makes it so much more fun, so much more engaging. So yes, I think I will have us raid. How about we raid my friend Grinning Hazard? He is pushing for partner, and so I think it's only fair that I send you lovely viewers over to him. If you like fun, nerdy gamers who like to play video games, you will absolutely adore this individual. Raid, yes! Yes, you will absolutely adore this individual. Absolutely, like, go join this chat, like, start chatting, follow if you want. It'll be a lot of fun. So thank you everyone for joining. I am very glad to have you, and I hope to see you again on Thursday. So let us start this stream. Okay. So, I hope you all have a wonderful time. Stay hydrated, stay happy, and keep writing. Bye everyone!